Hey, what's up, guys? As you can see, I am not outside, and that's because, as maybe you can hear, but maybe not, it's raining and cold. So I'm in my office, and I've been kind of wanting to do a video about some of the archery equipment that I use, and so I thought now would be a pretty good time to do that. Now, I am, let's say, frugal. Frugal, that's the right word. I'm cheap. And that's so I try to do this hobby kind of as economically feasible as possible. And so I want to kind of go over some of the stuff that I've got in my archery box. Yes, it's just a box, and show you guys kind of what I have, what I use the most, and my sort of lack thereof of stuff. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, so right on top here, I've got the thing that's kind of invaluable to me because I don't want to destroy the limbs of my bow. I know for some people you can string your bow without anything, but for me, I really like a limb saver for stringing, and I actually really like this type. When I first got it, I didn't know if I didn't know anything about them. I know there's the ones that go over the very tip of the bow limb, and I actually really dislike that because it's hard depending on if you want to take your string completely off, like you've got to slide it down the limb and all that stuff. And the loops on my string, a lot of times the top loop is a little bit bigger than the bottom loop. Well, for mine, that's not the case. And anyway, I really like this because it's more of a saddle. It just kind of sits over the limb, over that top limb. Works a lot better for me. So I use that a lot. Open up my hefty box here. As you can tell, I spare no expense. Anyway, cloth here. That's actually for applying this. This is just like some kiwi leather conditioner oil, and I use that a lot for my shooting glove. This is actually my wife's glove. And my gloves, somebody asked me in the comments of one of my older videos what brand this glove was, and actually I think it was of my first video. This is actually made by White Wolf Archery in East Tennessee. Really great guy, makes bows, makes a lot of great equipment. 15 bucks. This glove is absolutely outstanding. So that's my shooting glove. I picked up a small for my wife, and it works great. If you're wondering about sizes for his stuff, they run a little on the small side, I think, because like this is a medium, and I have really small hands. So anyway, that's that. And then I've got some more White Wolf stuff in here. I've actually got 2 arm guards. This is his full-length arm guard. It's good. You can actually tell it's got a little bit of like tear where I used to really smack my arm a lot. And now mostly I don't even use an arm guard too much. My wife uses this one. Mostly I really like this one in the cold. When I have like a jacket on, it'll hold the jacket back out of the way because it like goes on your arm like that. It's great for keeping your like clothes out of the way. So I really like that. This is another arm guard from him. I don't care for this one too much. It's pretty, but it's too stiff, and I don't know, I feel like I've got like a gauntlet on. Also, whoever came up with this design where these like pin around, I hate it. Like, just make them buckles or something. I know it looks cool, but man, is it a pain to adjust. If you thought lacing shoes was a pain in the butt, that's just a whole nother thing. All right, so just continuing to go down through the box. Here is some, what brand is this? This is Mossy Oak bowstring wax, and I don't know, works good, works fine. A lot of people, this stuff gets hard when it gets like cold, and it's hard to like when you go to wax your string, it's a little difficult. So one of the things that I do, and maybe this is a bad idea, but I'll take a lighter and I'll just like pop the lighter on, and I will just barely hit that wax so that it gets soft, not hot, because I don't want to do anything to the string, but I just want it to get soft, and then I can just put it on my string. But I don't get it like super soft, like liquid. I just barely soften it up. So I'm pretty cautious about my strings. So there's that. I've got some different feathers in here. Recently I have switched to these golden ember feathers. They're like real short because I was trying to get a little more speed out of my arrows. And honestly, even though my arrows are tuned, I don't know, I don't care for these too much. But that's some of the feathers I've got. I've also got these really ugly green feathers that you've seen on my arrows. And really the only reason I have those is because they were cheap. Gold tip inserts have never been opened. They're light inserts, and I actually use these really heavy. Let me see if I can show. They're in here somewhere. Maybe they're not. I don't know, but I use these really heavy brass inserts. You've seen them on my arrows before. Really heavy brass inserts. They're 100 grain inserts that I keep in the arrows. Another thing that I really like, that you've probably also seen, is this Fletch super cheap fletching glue. And what I'll do is I'll take this tape. You've seen this in my fletching video, but I really like this fletching tape. Mostly I just use this, but if I want to add a little extra strength to the ends, I'll put this glue on there. So hot glue sticks, use that for melting and putting in inserts. Works really well. Some of my wife's feathers, she actually has the nice, more expensive feathers, purple and striped and such. The only broadheads I own, one of which is in a dead armadillo. That's a whole story. I shot an armadillo. And it was weird. But anyway, I didn't want to dig it out of that. Those things are nasty. So, I've got some small game heads. Probably should have shot the armadillo with that, but anyway. Oh, here's some of the big inserts. These are big brass 100 grain inserts. These are actually the cheaper ones. They're not the gold tip brand. And I realized that I really like the gold tip brand better because if you look at these, oh, that was smart. If you look at these, they've got like this big, thick collar. It actually makes the arrow a little longer. And I don't know. There's just something about them that I don't like as much as the gold tip inserts. So there's that. Some ends for wooden arrows that I never really use. The only time I ever used a wooden arrow was when I lit the fire with the flaming arrow. That was about it. I've got a broadhead wrench and sharpener. Again, I haven't really done much with broadheads, so that doesn't get used that much. I have a bow square, which actually took me a while to finally decide to buy a bow square, but it works pretty well. Nice for measuring brace height, and you know, I try to use it for this end for actually setting my nocking point. And honestly, the shelf on the bow is not flat, so trying to get it all oriented and lined up right how an arrow would be to really truly measure, you know, I haven't gotten it to work out well. So mostly I just do a lot of trial and error, changing my nock height on the string. And anyway, yeah, I mean, you can see how cheap I am. That's about it. But real quick, let's look at my my bow here. I want to show you something on that. Okay, so here's my bow. It's a Samick Sage. I mean, everybody's got this bow, I think. Just laying around. People that don't even do archery, they just have Samick Sages everywhere. That seems to be the case. But anyway, I do have this one set up relatively nice. I've got a bearskin rest on it, and my strings, I've been through many different strings. As you can see, this one's got the beaver balls on it, which I'm not even sure that's beaver fur, but they work really well. It's very silent. My nocking point right now is a piece of gaff tape, and that is because I've been adjusting it up and down. Usually when I do put a nocking point on there, though, I'll tie it, with a piece of old bowstring. I'll cut out some of the string and I'll do a special little knot on there. I don't remember what it's called. But this is a cool string. This is my favorite string. This is called a laser string. I think it was like 30 bucks. I think it's fast flight material, but it doesn't have the Flemish twist. It actually has the serving up here, and it's super, super cool because I had so many problems with the loops on my strings just getting torn to pieces, and this one's actually worn a little bit. But man, I was going through strings like crazy, and I don't know what the problem was. I mean, I was waxing my string as I was doing all the things that I thought were right, and I tore up a lot of strings, probably like 4 or 5 nice strings. I've been meaning to do a video on strings, but yeah, I'll get around to that sometime. But anyway, this has added a lot of speed to the bow, and it's very durable, very nice, and I've had some nice Flemish twist strings before, and they've all sort of, well, sucked. So anyway, that's my setup. One other thing I guess I could talk about is my arrows and my quiver. So my quiver here is, I don't even know the brand, but it's suede, and it was on sale at like on clearance for 29 bucks, and it sort of fit with like all my other stuff. So if you look at like this arm guard and everything, they're not from the same place, but like they match perfectly. And it was like 29 bucks, and it was awesome, and it like kind of fits the look and things I've got going on. So anyway, I got it. It's great. Nothing fancy. It doesn't have anything awesome with it, but it works good. I got it from Lancaster Archery, I think. And then my arrows, I've always shot, pretty much always shot gold tip traditionals. I have shot a lot of the blim arrows that I've gotten from Big Jim's Archery, and you know, they've been perfectly fine. They're like less than half the price, and they work great, and yeah, this one's totally busted on the end, and no, I don't shoot it like that. I'm not actually sure why it's still in the pouch, but anyway, there's that. These arrows have been great. Maybe you can see, here's one of the gold tip inserts, brass inserts, along with one of those cheaper ones. There's something about the way that collar sticks out that I just don't like. Oh, also, I'll show you a quick tip here. If your inserts or your screw-in tips like come out really easily, they keep coming unscrewed on you, and you keep having to screw them back in. It's almost like a little like tick with me when I'm out there. I'm constantly like screwing them back in. Take a little bit of I learned this from somebody on YouTube, and I can't remember their name, but take a little bit of grease of string wax, and just like totally wax the threads, like get it down deep in the threads. Very cool. And then after you do that, you just screw the tip in there, and it's going to get like real tight because, yeah. And then it will not come unscrewed for like a while. Like it won't just come loose on you. Works fantastic. So I'm actually probably going to do that to some of these arrows here. But anyway, that's what's in my archery box. Nothing super cool or super fancy. Like I said, I'm kind of cheap. So, yeah. I hope this was interesting to you. I kind of like to see people do this kind of thing, you know, show what they've got. So, hey, if you guys got some neat equipment or things that I should try or that I should have that are invaluable to you in your instinctive archery or your traditional archery, let me know, and I'll be sure to check it out. Oh, yeah. My fletching jig, I didn't even have it in there, but I have the Grayling fletching jig, and it's pretty cool. So anyway, you go watch my video on that. I'll link to it. So, yep, y'all be good out there. Get subscribed, like this video, share this video, watch my other videos, do all that cool stuff, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.